here's a little joke I found. It's called Blow Out That Candle. Mrs. O'Reilly walking down the street, coming the other way is Father Flanagan. He says, "Hello, Mrs. O'Reilly, and how is Mr. O'Reilly? Didn't I marry you two about 5 years ago?" She says, "That you did, Father." The priest says, "Are there any little ones yet?" She says, "No, not yet, Father." He says, "Well, now that's a shame. I'm going to go to Rome next week, and I'll pray and light a candle for you and Mr. O'Reilly." Several years later, they meet on the street again. He says, "Well, now, Mrs. O'Reilly, how are you? Do you have any little ones yet?" She says, "Oh, yes, Father, I've had 3 sets of twins, and 4 singles, 10 in all." And the priest says, "Now, isn't that wonderful? And how's your husband?" She says, "Oh, he's fine. He's in Rome at the moment." The priest says, "In Rome? Why did he go to Rome?" She says, "To blow out that darn candle." Isn't that cute? I love it. Oh, so we are talking about today accepting what is, and whenever I pick a talk title, it gets to show up in my life as well. So it's always so wonderful. And, Jim Drever, you've probably seen him. He's been here and he's talked, and he wrote a book, a couple of books actually. And I can't remember the name of his book. But anyway, I'll remember it. I've got to find a copy again. But anyway, so we had a session over the internet, and he says, "So I just want you, Miriam, to practice just being here now, okay? And just be present to whatever comes up." So I got that opportunity yesterday. So we're driving down to the Pantages Theater, and we never have had this issue before. And we were on our way there, and the play starts at, it was about Donna Summer, by the way, fabulous. And we're on our way, and we get to the parking lot, and it took 20 minutes to get in there. So then we were late. So Sandy, my girlfriend in the back, she said, "Oh, we're going to be late. We've never been late. Oh, this is horrible." And she twinked that she was that loud. And I said, "Okay, let's just relax. We're going to know we're in divine, perfect timing. And so it is." And she kept, "Oh," and I said, "And so it is." And so it is. So when you have something like that, just be present to it and allow yourself, because no matter what, we were going to get there when we got there. We have no, what's the word? We have a choice about how we want to do things, right? And then if we choose that, we're going to find the good in it. So, in that circumstance, I thought, so what? Be present to whatever's going on in your life, and so what? It doesn't really matter. So then, of course, I got triggered later, so we have a third woman, and we buy these season tickets together. I'm just telling you this because I know it happens to you sometimes. Anyway, so she's just kind of a prickly little gal, She's like a little cactus. You know how some people are prickly? Okay, so I'm just going, oh, she's a little sharp, the way she talks and her tone, and I'm going, okay. So that's who she is, and my girlfriend warned me, all right? And I thought, but I didn't realize how much it was going to trigger me. And then I had to look at, because we're doing inner child healing, and I had to look at, I know. And so I looked at that and I thought, it's not about her and her prickly ways. It's about me and how I react to it. And it's about how I am in this moment, and can I accept what it is in this moment, that she's perfect just the way she is, because she's not going to change. She's in her 70s or 80s. I don't know how old she is or young she is. And the deal is, it's like, I have an opportunity. So here's the opportunity. We've got to look underneath what's going on in our lives. And seemingly a situation will happen, you go, oh, that's bad. And it's not necessarily bad. Maybe it's another opportunity for us to grow and to shift. And maybe it's an opportunity for us to step into who we are, and maybe the soul has a greater expression of that happening, right? So as I'm sitting there looking at it, I thought, oh man, okay, yet another opportunity to let go of emotional stuff and feel heard. Oh, she was mean to me. And I'm going, that's my little girl. And that stems from other stuff in the past. Think about like when you were a kid. Did you ever have a mean teacher? Anybody ever have a mean teacher?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sit down. Don't talk to me. You need to know this. And instead of going, oh, it's okay, honey. I did not have Mr. Rogers for a teacher, okay? I wish I did. So conversely, you know, it's like we look at that and then what the opportunity is for us when we accept what is, if it us to look at that, be able to dig underneath and go, what is it I need to shift and change? What is it that I can shift in this moment? Because as I do that, I'm going to change all the energy around me. I was talking to, whenever I talk to anybody, you know, they're having a situation with their boss or they're having a problem with this one or that one, and I'm talking to my gal that rents from me, and she says, you know, am I attracting all this? You know, what's going on? I always attract these people who are not nice. And I said, well, that's a judgment. Maybe they're okay, and maybe it's for you to look at how can you be in the moment, and how can you be just joyful even when somebody's being a snarky to you, okay? And that's the opportunity for us. How many of you want to take that on? You want to grow a little? You want to let it go and have a little more peace? Because that's really what it's about. So I have a couple of quotes, and by the way, this is in Brene Brown, which I'm sure, do y'all like her? She's fantastic. She's written, I think, 3 or 4 books now. And she's on the current Science of Mind for December. So I actually pulled my talk title off of this because I liked the name of it. So here's a quote from Carl Jung. You cannot change anything until we accept it. All right? So can I change anything about that woman? No. I have to accept her just as she is, and then maybe I can look for the humor in it. And then I started thinking, was she a teacher or a nurse or something? So now I go, be inquisitive, because then I want to find out what caused her to be like she is. It's interesting. Did she have a big family? Was she the oldest kid? I don't know. Go into inquiry, because when we go into inquiry, that's going to put you into present time. Wow, that's fabulous. That's interesting. Okay? And then Science of Mind, this is from page 500. Ernest Holmes says, everything is according to law and order. This is the only way the universe could function. And I'm going to add something. If we have a situation in our life, if we have an individual in our life, that situation and that person is there to grow you. Oh, wham, right? Don't you want everything to just stay the same all the time? How boring that would be, wouldn't it? It would be boring. It really would. So accepting what is, I started looking at some of the things, and I have a book, Deepak Chopra, and Deepak Chopra wrote a book called The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. How many of you read that? You can actually get it online as a PDF, okay?
For free. If
I know,
anyone
for
needs
free.
it, just let me know.
So I'm going to just read, I know. Now, I got that from Roxy because she'll say, oh, Rev, I got a free PDF. And I'm like, what? And then I started typing in free PDF of this, of that. It's on the internet, guys. You don't even have to sit there and buy the book to get this wisdom.
Yeah.
All right, so he's talking about, he's not using the word attachment, he's using the law of detachment. So he's saying the law of detachment accelerates the whole process of evolution. When you understand the law, you don't feel compelled to force situations. When you force solutions on problems, you only create new problems. But when you put your attention on the uncertainty and you witness the uncertainty while you expectantly wait for the solution to emerge out of the chaos and the confusion, then what emerges is simply something very fabulous and exciting. So instead of striving and pushing and shoving, you're still going to set your intentions, but you're going to allow. Just simply allow, okay, and accept what is. He says the state of alertness, your preparedness in the present in the field of uncertainty, meets with your goal and your intention allows you to seize the opportunity. What's the opportunity? It's contained in every problem that you have in your life. So when you think about it, oh, I've got a situation, how can I do this? Or, I don't know, you're looking at something. Maybe it's financial, maybe it's a relationship. And I sent this over to my daughter because she was talking to me about some of her things, and I thought she can read this. Every single problem you have in your life is the seed for opportunity for some greater benefit. How do you like that? I like that. Once you have that perception, you're open to a whole range of possibilities. And this keeps the mystery, the wonder, the excitement, and the adventure alive. You can look at every problem you have in your life as an opportunity for some greater benefit. You stay alert to opportunities by being grounded in the wisdom of uncertainty. When your preparedness meets opportunity, the solution will spontaneously appear. But you can't do that without accepting what is. And you're crying and moaning and gnashing your teeth, that's okay. Do that for a minute, express your emotions, but allow yourself to be present to what is there and what's so. You all know the little story about the two little twin boys, and one little boy, he gets a little room full of toys and everything, and he wasn't happy because he didn't see a bicycle, okay? The other little boy gets a room of pony poo. You know this one, right? And I love this. I love this because what happens then is that he jumps into it, and he starts digging through the pony poo, and he goes, oh, this is fabulous. They go, it's pony poo. He goes, I don't care. There's a pony in here somewhere. So that's what you need to look at. You need to look at a situation that's seemingly horrible and look for the opportunity in it. So Deepak Chopra goes on to say, applying the law of detachment, he says, today I will commit myself to detachment. I will allow myself and those around me the freedom to be as they are. Because I'm not going to say to that woman, you're just a snarky thing and I don't like you. I mean, what good is that going to do? She's not going to change. It's only going to upset me and upset her. I will not rigidly oppose my idea of how things should be. I will not force solutions on problems, thereby creating new problems. I will participate in everything with detached involvement. Today I will factor in uncertainty as an essential ingredient of my experience. In my willingness to accept uncertainty, solutions will spontaneously emerge out of the problem, out of the confusion, disorder, and chaos. The more uncertain things seem to be, the more secure I will feel because uncertainty is my path to freedom. Through the wisdom of uncertainty, I will find my security. So I wanted to talk about the documentary, Would You Please Be My Neighbor, about Mr. Rogers. Did any of you watch him when you were kids?
No, my children.
Your children did, yeah. And I don't know, as a working mom, I didn't really watch him, but I had an appreciation for him because what he was doing when he was doing his ministry, he said, you know, there's this opportunity on this new medium called television. And so he started this children's show with puppets and doing all the, you know, kind of fun little things and with no budget. And so they went on and they started doing the show and even got free film, and sometimes it would break in the middle of filming and they put more film on, but they always managed to make it because he was always finding opportunity, you know, within the negative. So he also would take current events, and I didn't know this, he would take current events, like he would take the war, or he would take something that's really a tough subject to talk about with children, and he would explain and show how war affected people and how to create peace, because he had a little king figure on the show. And I thought, wow, I had no idea that this guy was a visionary. I always like he puts on his sweater, and I always think he was kind of, you know, I don't know, just kind of a dorky guy, yeah. But he wasn't a dorky guy. He was so deep underneath that. It was incredible. So here's another story of him just accepting what was so, but then he took the action as he did it. So at one point, President Johnson gave funding from the government to create an educational channel. What channel is that, you guys? PBS.
PBS.
Okay. So in PBS, what happened, they created more children's programming, and that was the intention, for children to have something educational, and people, individuals, to have educational programming. So then Nixon gets elected, and he's like, oh, no, I need that money back. I'm going to take away your funding. And Mr. Rogers, instead of going, oh, this is horrible, what am I going to do? Instead, he just got real calm, and he decided he's going to talk in front of Congress. And he's going to go, and this scene, I wish I should have given Roxy to show you. There's a scene where he's talking about how important it is for children to know they're loved, and that love is the most important thing on the planet.
Yes.
And as he's talking, he says, and now, Senator so-and-so, I have a little song to explain to you about children and why this is so important and why this is so wonderful for children to understand how deeply they are loved and cared for. And he starts singing the words to this song. The congressman or the senator looks at him and says, okay, I get it. That was amazing. You got your $2 million. I can't remember. You gotta watch the documentary.
Was it the Morse from my name?
No, it's not that. He said it was another song about teaching children about something, about how much they're loved and how much they are cared for, and this guy was like this really brash kind of guy, the senator, and he's watching. He just gets a big grin on his face because he got it. I don't know if that would happen nowadays. I don't know, but it was his just being present in the moment and accepting and saying, hey, this is so valuable, we need to give this to our children. And if we don't have this funding, where are they going to get it from? And they showed scenes of him and people coming up to him and adults and crying, thank you for your show. Thank you, I would go home every day because I didn't get that from my parents. Thank you for telling me I'm loved and special. Thank you. So he took something and he took a medium and he accepted that it had a lot of things that weren't really great for children, but he also knew that he had the opportunity to teach them about different things. So he would take other things in the media that were like hot topics and illustrate it with the puppets on his show. It was, now I want to go back and watch some Mr. Rogers shows because then you can equate it to what was going on and maybe a financial crisis or whatever was going on. Oh, he addressed homosexuality, he addressed...
I still remember
yes.
Daniel Tiger.
Yes.
Assassination.
Yes, and the assassination of Robert Kennedy, he addressed that. Martin Luther, everything. It was incredible. And so as I'm watching, I'm still getting chills, on that. And the other one he addressed was, there was a scene where they showed where, in some places, the South, they still were not, it was all white people in pools and no blacks could be in a pool. And he created a scene where the mailman's black, and he was also gay, by the way. He said, don't ever tell anybody that because the times were not good for that. And he did this thing where he says, oh, it's summertime. It's really hot. Would you like to put your feet in the water with me? Oh my gosh. So he was taking situations, that's what I'm talking about it. He was accepting, here's what happened, here's what is. And I saw this beautiful situation where he then showed them another way. And here's the gift in it. Here's what you can do. Here's what we can do in order to change this. Isn't that great? So watch the documentary. That's all I'm going to tell you because it'll open your heart. And if you're a parent or you're not a parent, you'll understand how powerful this man was. It was amazing. So with that, I have a couple of other reasons why, let me find it, why we should step into the field of possibilities by accepting things just as they are. And here's another one. Keys to accepting what you can't change. But here's the acceptance You can't change it, but you can look for the opportunities, like I was sharing with my individual things. Acceptance has many benefits. You want to know the benefits? Okay, a more positive attitude, right? I wonder why she's so snarky. I want to learn more about her. That's a positive thing, because then it creates an interest, and maybe a deeper connection with that individual. You would create less worry and stress. Less energy is drained from trying to figure things out. How am I going to fix this problem? But if you just say, I'm going to accept this, I'm going to be present to it, and then the answer, it's not like you're not going to pray and move your feet. I'm not saying that. But you're going to accept what is and what's so, and then allow the divine to bring you the magic and the joy that happens when we accept it in this present moment, in this now moment, okay? It gives us the ability to embrace change, because what's life about? Change. I'm sorry, nothing else is going to happen but change. Everything is going to change. You look back on, Art will say to me, oh, I really used to love our Thanksgivings and it was so great and da-da-da. And I said, okay, that's wonderful and I appreciate that. But what's great about your Thanksgivings now? You get to be with your grandkids. You get to be with your children. So I said, start looking at the opportunities for that. And then a more compassionate perspective. Acceptance is not the same as resignation or passivity. We can continue to push forward despite accepting that there are things beyond our control. So what we do in Science of Mind, what do? We create a prayer, we create what we desire, and we let it go. We accept what's going on in the moment, and then we let it go. And that's really what it's about. Okay, so we have an affirmation that I would like you to say with me, and I think I hit everything. Yes, I did. Okay, so this is in the Science of Mind magazine. And if you would repeat after me. Today I center myself and remember. Today I center myself and remember that no matter what, life is showing me, Spirit always is on my side.
Spirit is always on my side.
I am never alone. And when I ask, I always receive an answer.
I always receive an answer.
And so it is.
All right.
All right, so beloved ones, have a beautiful week, and when you hit a bad parking situation or a little prickly person, just start to look at the opportunities, okay? And think and inquire, because as you do the inquiry, the blessings are going to shower down upon you. Peace and blessings. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.